I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get the cold sweats here. I just went over, talked to my buddy Tom. We were discussing the game, and the more and more I discuss it, the more and more I am getting hyped. The more that the energy just begins to kind of flow through me in preparation for this. Now, I just kind of want to talk about some specific things as we head into it. Forget about it being Matthew Stafford's day coming home to Detroit. I think this game is more about Goff and him on a revenge tour against his old squad that gave him away, than it is about Stafford. But in a whole other way, I think it's so much more than just about Goff. This is about a Detroit Lions team that has been built from the ground up under new leadership, under Brad Holmes' creative mind when it comes to drafting, under Dan Campbell's leadership, under Ben Johnson as the OC, Aaron Glenn, the whole kit and caboodle. Like, this squad, this isn't just about Goff. And yes, it's got a lot to do with it, and there's definitely a lot of motivation there. You heard St. Brown talking about how much he wants to win this one for Goff. But more than anything, this is about a Detroit Lions team that is legit. That's a legitimate contender for a Super Bowl. And the first stop is here in Detroit with the Rams coming to town. A red-hot Rams team, but a young Rams team at that, led with some serious key veterans. But as a whole, man, like, this game is not Stafford coming home. It's not Goff's revenge tour. Like, those are narratives and elements to the game. Let's not dismiss them. But really, this is about a Detroit Lions team that has been resurrected from what was a dead franchise to legitimate contenders, period. And it's about every single player on this squad. And that goes from the rookies like Brian Branch, who are making serious immediate impacts, to Jameson Williams coming back, to St. Brown and all that. St. Brown, this is his first playoff game, to the veterans like Goff in the NFL, to our veterans like Decker, Ragnow, Glasgow, guys like that. Like, there is a ton riding here with what is just a brand new Detroit Lions era, and a good era at that. So with that being said, let's get into the preview. If you hear some shuffling below me, it's because I got a ton of parchment paper and I'm in the middle of creating some magnetic modular D&D tiles. That's pretty cool. You know, that's got a little Mod Podge on there. Now I'm in stage 2 where we're connecting it. But check these out, man. Got some nice little, I'm working on some wooden platforms for like taverns. Stick together. Modular. It's pretty sick. Now, granted, I still got to coat it with a nice wash, kind of get into the depths, get the wood grain pulled out, but that is neither here nor there. Strictly speaking, I think the key elements of this game is really going to be Lions offense is rolling. Lions offense is rolling well. And conversation I had with my buddy Tom was like, yeah, you know, LaPorta, we're optimistic, right? Like, he had that walkthrough with Goff yesterday after practice, or really just taking some reps, seeing where he's at, and he's optimistic to play. First things first, like, hey, that's keeping the Rams on their toes as to what they have to game plan for. But also, you're talking about what has been such a unique and incredible element of this offense being taken out potentially completely. How does the Rams defense prepare for that? Right? All the film has Sam LaPorta as a key element. So now all of a sudden you take that out. How is Ben Johnson going to run this offense potentially without LaPorta? And how do the Rams bounce back? Rams pass defense isn't great. They're just fine. In fact, the Lions pass defense is considered better, coming in at about 16th. So, like, you look at the defense for the Rams as a whole, they have gotten better, but they're not great. They're just mediocre at best. And that's not taking a shot at them or the Rams. I'm just giving you the facts of what we see here and what we're seeing on paper. Rams defense is going to have to show up in new ways, and I think the only way the Rams defense really shows up and has a shot against our stellar offense is if Aaron Donald can make some noise. If the interior D-line for the Rams can make some noise. Because you're talking about a top 3 O-line here in Detroit. And Frank Ragnow is a stud. He's literally one of the best centers in the NFL, if not the best center in the NFL. So unless they can disrupt our O-line and just plow through it and actually create disruption for Goff, I think we're going to pick them apart. I think the Lions offense can pick apart this Rams defense. In the same way, our run offense has been phenomenal, and their run defense, not so much. So you're looking at it, and it's like, I think if the Lions can put up 31 points on the Rams, we can win this game. We can win this game. The Lions can win this game if they can put up 31 is kind of the threshold I'm looking at. In the same way, Lions rush offense ranked 4th overall in the NFL, and then the rush defense for the Rams is 20th. If the Lions can establish the run early between Gibbs and Montgomery and just plow forward, pick up those yards quickly, that's going to establish that play action that we know Goff is so good at and that Ben Johnson loves to run with. St. Brown, JMO, I think, is going to be a key element of this game as well. Now, we're also still a little unsure about Khalif Raymond, so it is going to be interesting to see how Ben Johnson sort of moves with all of the pieces that are hanging in the balance. Offensively for the Rams, their run game is actually pretty good. And their wide receiver core is really, really good. There's a reason why they made it into this slot after starting out a little shaky, but finding a rhythm. But look at our rush defense. We have shut everyone down. Ranked 1st overall in the NFL. Our rush defense does not let up yardage. We are phenomenal. Aidan Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, Ali McNeil, Romeo Okwara really coming in and of his own, finding a stride right now. I don't know about James Houston if he's going to be back yet, but as a whole, Lions rush defense is shutting down opponents. Nobody is moving the ball on us on the ground. I think Matt Stafford's going to be looking, they're going to try to establish that, right? But at that point, most of their game is going to come in the air, and they are good in the air. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, phenomenal duo at wide receiver core, and we know that that is our greatest struggle. As a team, other than our kicker, I think the Lions' greatest struggle really comes from shutting down opponents' pass game. Obviously, look at Nick Mullins throwing for almost literally 1,000 yards on us. I think we were playing, pretty relaxed in that last game against Minnesota when it came to the secondary, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson coming back is going to be huge because Cam Sutton's kind of getting picked apart. He's the only guy who's really a threat in the secondary. Kirby Joseph as well, obviously. Ifeatu Melifonwu coming in and finding a stride right now is huge. But I think getting C.J. Gardner-Johnson back is going to be humongous. Lions pass defense ranked about 16th overall in the NFL. So if the pass defense is that, I think the Rams are like 9th maybe. So those two matchups, unless we're able to get in and disrupt Matt Stafford and hit him, make him eat some good old Detroit turf like the old days, just different colors, that's the only way that we're going to be able to disrupt the pass game. I mean, that's our greatest problem. Secondary's struggles are pretty huge. So will C.J. Gardner-Johnson have the type of game we need in order to shut down Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua? I don't know. We will see. I think as a whole, the Lions do have the advantage. It's home field advantage. Home game here in Detroit is going to be loud. It is going to be rocking and rolling. And so I really just believe if our offense can play a lights out game and not have that type of slow start or one of those weird games where you only wind up with 13 points. Like if the Lions could put up 31 and the offense gets moving, I think the defense will find a way to shut down Matt Stafford and this Rams squad. The Lions, to me, are the better team. I look at it, and if I can take off the blue goggles and just look at it very unbiased, the Lions look like the better squad overall, all three phases. However, I will say the Rams are the hotter team. They have the hot hand. They are playing really well and getting better and better and better with every game, where we've seen us kind of taper and then pop back up and taper and pop back up. So it's going to be wild. It's going to be electric is really the best word, I think, for both teams. But with the home field advantage, I have the Lions winning this game 31-28. That is my score prediction. And if I'm wrong, well, then I will delete the channel, and that'll be the last time you ever see. You'll all of a sudden be like, who's this guy making D&D tiles? Magnetic modular D&D tiles. I'm telling you, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. This way, as a DM, you can add a 3D element to your game. Now, again, this is just in the prototype phase, so everybody calm down. That is it. Drop your score predictions in the chat. comment section below, whatever it is, whatever the internet calls it. Now, I got to get back to what I was doing. Bye.